again is the second meeting in August by virtual conference call. Due to having virtual meetings, there will be no public comments available. If you want to submit a comment for the records, please email it to planners@westfieldin.gov. And on some of the issues, I print those off where Kevin gets them and then put them in a folder so we can access them later. Is our clerk with us tonight, Cindy?
There, yes, I'm here. I couldn't get it unmuted. I apologize.
Okay. Well, the first thing we do now, I know that Scott Willis called me, and he's on Marine Corps business in New York, and unless he's dialed in, I don't think he'll be with us this evening. So, Cindy, would you call the roll and note the presence of a quorum?
Okay, Joe Edwards.
Here.
Jake Gilbert.
Here.
Cindy Spoljaric.
Here.
Troy Patton.
Here.
Scott Fry.
Here.
Mike Johns.
Here.
We do have a quorum.
Okay, the first item, you've received the minutes. They were embedded in the agenda. Are there any corrections to the minutes of our meeting on August the 10th? If not, I'd entertain a motion that we approve the minutes of August the 10th.
Second that, Troy Patton.
Okay, I'll move. Jake, you second? Was that Jake?
I believe it was Troy.
Okay, Troy, okay. Okay, I move, Troy seconds. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye. The next item are claims, is claim docket. And are there any questions on the claim docket?
Yeah, this is Mike Johns. I've just got one question on page 5. We were looking at under the food and beverage tax, looking at Grant Park, and I see a charge of $32,579 for the, I think it's the Coates City pad, and I see that brings us pretty near the end of that of the Coates project. We're about 89,000 from the end. But can someone tell me, is that asphalt for a pad, or explain what that is? Maybe.
Can anybody explain that for Mike?
Is William on the phone? This is Jeremy.
Okay.
So I will do my best to explain. Public Works Department manages the construction project, but the city and the Colts partnered on an asphalt pad out there, inclusive of some one other things, to move Colt City closer to where the fields of play are. The Colts are bearing the burden of the majority of that cost. We did have portions of it that were our responsibility, including the asphalt, I believe, and a couple trail connections, keeping in mind that these are all improvements on our property that we own, that the Colts are largely paying for.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks,
Does that answer your question?
It does. Thank you.
Sure.
Any other questions on the claims docket? If not, I'd entertain a motion to approve.
This is Mike Johns. I move that we approve the claims docket dated August 24th, 2020, as submitted.
Jake Gilbert, second.
Okay. Mike moves and Jake seconds. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Okay. The old business is we have an ordinance for ordinance 20-32. This is the SEP bond. This is the project down at 161st and Union Street. It was introduced on August the 10th, and it's up for consideration this evening. Is our attorney online?
I'm
Brian?
here, Joe, but Catherine is also, and she can explain this better.
All right. Very good, Catherine. Thank you.
Good evening. As mentioned, this is basically the bonds that we've been discussing for SEP, which was introduced at the Economic Development Commission meeting a couple weeks ago, and also introduced that same evening at the council. You received forms of documents describing the bonds and the project. So basically, this is just a continuation of our discussion and up for adoption this evening.
Okay.
And this would be, just to add, this would be the final step prior to issuing the bonds.
Now, are these the developer bonds?
Yes, they are. So these are solely payable from the tax increment generated from the project, basically 80% of the tax increment. So if there's not enough tax increment to pay the developer, the city's not on the hook for anything.
Okay.
This is all developer purchase.
Okay, I need a motion to approve this before we can start discussion.
So moved, Cindy Spoljarek.
Cindy moves. Is there a second?
Second, Jake Gilbert.
Okay, Jay. All right. Are there any questions about this? We've been through this for 2 or 3 months now, and it's a good project. There's been some back and forth, and we've worked with the developer, and he's made some consideration, and we've made some consideration. So I think it's ready for approval. Does anybody have any questions before I call for the question, I should say? All right. Cindy, would you call the roll?
Scott Fry. Scott Fry?
Yes.
Okay. Troy Patton?
Yes.
Cindy Spalgeri?
Yes.
Mike Johns?
Yes.
Jake Gilbert?
Yes.
Joe Edwards?
Yes.
Motion carries 6-0.
Okay. Now we got new business. Food truck request for Sundown Gardens Fall Open House, 505 West 186th Street, to be held September the 19th. Kevin, do you have anything on this? I don't know how many trucks this would be.
Yeah, this is Kevin. I don't have a lot to add to that. This will be on the Sundown Gardens property. The event is scheduled to run from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. with the food trucks being present from 11 to 3. And I believe Mary Kirshner with Sundown Gardens is here on the call and could answer any additional questions that you have about this event.
Okay. Mary, do you know how many food trucks this is? Mary Kirshner.
Mary, it looks like you're still on mute.
Can you hear
There
us?
we go.
Can you hear us?
Yes.
Yes, this is Mary Kirshner. Our computer microphone's not working.
We just asked the question, how many trucks would it be, food trucks?
It'll be 2 food trucks.
Okay, that's not very many, but, okay, is there a motion for the food trucks for Sundown Gardens? Go ahead, Troy.
I was just gonna make a motion to approve.
Okay, Troy moves. Is there a second?
Mike Johns, I'll second.
Okay, Mike. Motion properly made and seconded to approve the food trucks for Sundown Gardens on September 19th. Clerk, would you call the roll?
Joe Edwards,
Yes.
Jake Gilbert,
Yes.
Scott Fry,
Yes.
Troy Patton,
Yes.
Cindy Spalgeric,
Yes.
Mike Johns.
Yes.
Motion carries 6-0.
Okay, the next thing I want to announce, and I think the mayor is probably here listening in, but it's kind of, that's kind of his bailiwick, but I understand that Carmel and Fishers and Noblesville are having live meetings, and that they have taken, I heard this just at a luncheon of council presidents, that they are spacing people out. In our auditorium there in the meeting room, we'd had room for about 22 to 25 people. And if more than that wanted to speak to certain things, we'd have to have a way to move people in and out so that we didn't have a big dense crowd in there. But it would be my intention, with the approval of the mayor, I mean, this is really kind of his bailiwick, to have live meetings if we can do it safely. And I am, of course, I'm no doctor. I don't know much about viruses, so I would have to yield to somebody that knows more than I do. Mayor, are you listening?
Yeah, Joe, thank you. Yeah, we acted on the side of caution. We look back on it, and I hope we can say this in a couple months. We've been real fortunate here in Westfield. We just have not had a lot of cases, and none that I know of within our city people or our council. But yes, we are intending to go live with September meetings. Jeremy and his people are looking at what it takes to space our council apart. You're too close together right now, the way they're all set. So we're taking a look at how we can do that, and I'll keep you posted, but my intention is to return to live meetings in September.
Okay, thank you. That's going to take some planning, I know, and we just have to work on that. But I very much miss the live meetings, and I think the others do too. And so we need to get back to live meetings, and where we can have people come in and say what they think about different issues. Okay, are there any city council comments at this time? Hearing none, Mr. Mayor, are any comments that you'd like to make?
No, other than what we just talked about on the live meetings. Yes, I think everybody's looking forward to getting back to the traditional meeting source. So hopefully all of our COVID numbers will remain flat, and then we'll feel comfortable in doing so.
Okay, thank you. Well, if nothing else, we'll adjourn. Thank you this has been a very short meeting, but one that I thought was necessary. I thought perhaps there would be some other issues too, but those didn't materialize, so we're adjourned.
Have a good one, everybody.
Okay.
Thank you.
Good
Thank
night.
you all. Night.